Hello everyone, I'm so glad you have joined me today. I love sharing my ideas with you and I hope I inspire you to use your supplies in other ways. This week I'm going to focus on using our dies for other things. I've been working on creating stencils with them and using then the stencil to do some different types of things. For today's card, I use the Stitch So Sweetly dies and I use this one. And I specifically cut it out of a window sheet. Now I will tell you, keep both pieces because you can use both pieces when you cut it out. This is the card that we're going to make. And I just think it's a great card. It gives you a focal point, and I'm going to show you how I did it. So I'm going to move that up to, all right, different setup. Always trying something to get the best. All right, you need a piece of cardstock. Oops, this is the wrong one. I need a smaller one. So, and then what you need to do is you put some repositionable adhesive on the back. All right, and then you kind of lay it on your card base, and I'm gonna try to center this as best I can. Right, and hold it in place. Then you're going to take your Melon Mambo ink and a blender brush. Now, I do not have the Stampin' Up! Ones. I have had the blender brushes for a while. The ones that I have are different sizes, and I love them, so that's what I'm using today, is what I have. And you're going to start on your window sheet, and you're just going to start in circles and go all the way around. Now you do have to be careful because adding the ink to the window sheet, it makes it, it leaves ink on there and it can get messy. I hold it, but then I'm very aware that my hands have my finger is going to have ink on it. All right. All right. And then to test it, all I do is I just pick up the window sheet and look. And if I'm happy with it, I remove the window sheet. Now remember, this has ink on it, which means it's going to get on your hands, but you can rinse this off and reuse it. All right. So got our piece done. Now I've got a little bit of tape on there that I'm just gonna, excuse me, rub off. I'm gonna add that to a piece of green, and this happens to be Granny Apple Green. So let me get my glue out. All right. I'm gonna add that just to the back of my to the front of my green piece, and I'm centering it side to side, top to bottom. My card base is Melon Mambo, so I'm going to take, and you know, it jumped the track when I was scoring it, so to get rid of that, I'm going to show you a little trick. Take your bone folder, and I use the tip because it's easiest, and just rub it over that area. And then what I take and do is I go back to the front also and rub it lightly. And there's so little left that it doesn't really matter. So I'm going to fold this on my score line and burnish it. And then I'm going to make sure that that piece is in the back. This goes on the card base. And again, I'm using some glue. It's my favorite. I am having so much fun. I'm playing with, was embossing. I'm playing with my next class, and oh my gosh, I have so many cute techniques. I even discovered a new one myself. I tried to do a technique and I did it wrong. And it turned out pretty cool. So I'm going to be using that in my class. All right, now that I've got my card base ready to go, the next thing I need to do is I took the Forever Fern Flourishes dies, and I used this one, and I cut one out. And yes, there's only one on there because I'm going to cut it apart, and I'll show you how I'll do it. But now it's time to make our sunflowers. So I have a scrap piece of paper here, and I call them sunflowers, but I did them in other colors so that it really could be anything. And I need 2 of them, so I'm going to use my marker, and I'm going to first color in the leaves. All right. Then I'm going to use the same color as the background, and that's Melon Mambo. And I'm going to color the whole stamp in. And if you notice, I'm using the side of my marker, not the tip. You want to use the side because if you use the tip, you'll ruin it. All right, I'm going to stamp one like so. Then I'm going to do the same thing again because I want 2 of them. And again, I'm using the side of the marker to color the leaves first. Then I'm going to color my flower. And I always start at the top with the flower because then I can do a long swipe with the others. You have to be careful up around those leaves to get just the flower. All right, so I've got that. So I'm going to stamp it. Okay. I wanted some sparkle on it, so I'm taking my Wink of Stella, and I'm just going to do the leaves. And what will happen is it will cause the ink to bleed. And I have a couple I'm trying to use up. So that one's almost done. So let me try another one. Let's see. I may need to add some alcohol to these to make sure I get all of the sparkle out of them. Okay, there's that one. Now I'm going to do the petals on this one. Let me go to one of these. I give it a rest in between. I use it as much as I can and then switch to another one. And there we go. Done. All right, so now our flower petals have some sparkle to them. And I need to cut them out. So I'm going to use the sunflower dies, and it has a coordinating die to cut. Whew, threw that across the table. To cut these out. So I'm going to cut these out and I'll be back. Okay, I got my 2 cut out. To put them on my card, I'm going to use some dimensionals. So I'm going to add those just because I want to make sure that my card doesn't collapse in the mail. So I'm adding quite a few on the back. All right, and I got a few more to add. I'll have to get my, I don't know what you call this, sheet, I guess. Put one there. I'm going to put another one right there. Then I'm going to use my pokey tool to take the backs off. Okay, I've got 2 here. And I have the backs off of everything. Okay. I'm going to put this one on first. I kind of caught my paper and I can't see which one it was when I was taking the, I think it's this one. So I'm going to put this one here. All right, so this one I'm going to put down here in this corner. Move this over so you can see, like so. All right, and then this one goes on top like so. There. Now it's time to take our leaf spray and do some surgery, so to speak. So I'm going to take this piece and I'm just going to cut it off. And then this tip, what I'm going to take and do is I'm going to round this side and round this side, and no one knows. And then it's best to put these on with glue dots, because then you can take and put it where you want it. All right, it wouldn't come off that one way, so I moved it. All right, so I'm going to stick this one. Nope, I got to put it up here. All right, like so. And I'm kind of going up into that area just to give it some interest again. All right, now we're going to do the same thing with this one. All right, and round your tips. And now a glue dot. And I used, I cut mine apart because I wanted the pieces. I'm trying to pull it this way and it's not coming, so pull it the other way. If not, you'll end up breaking your pieces. All right, I've got to get that shoved up underneath like so. All right. Now I've got this one and this one that I'm going to put on the bottom, and I don't need to do any surgery on those, so to speak. All right. And this has to be shoved in far enough underneath, so you kind of have to figure out where your there we go, where your dimensionals are. All right, and then you've got to kind of make sure it doesn't stick down before you want it to. All right, and I'm going to put this one down here. Where's my glue dot? My glue dot's there, so I'm just going to kind of overlap it to help hold that one in place. And then this last one, oops, I'm going to leave the tail on it, because then I can shove that tail up under there like so. And I'm going to put a glue dot on here. And I'm not worried about the ends because it gives it a little bit of interest, because it pops up. And there's our card. Move this out of the way so it doesn't look funny. It needed some bling. You know me and my bling. So I took my rhinestones and I took my Melon Mambo blends and I colored my rhinestones. All right, and I'm going to sprinkle my rhinestones on, and I used one of each color, and I'm going to stick that one down in there like so. And there it is. And you want to make sure that you do the inside and the envelope. I hope I've inspired you today. Great card, lots of fun. Pull out your dies, see what you have you can use. If you need to order this die because you don't have it, there's a link in the information section below where you can order the supplies and make your card like this. You can use any flower and any die cut that you have. I hope you will join me again on Friday as I share another way to use your dies for some blending and interest. Have a great day.